name is Fernando Soriano. I am glad to have you all back to watch the special on the 1886 Charleston earthquake. It all happened a long time ago. It was 9:50 a.m. on what appeared to be a beautiful August morning when the biggest earthquake to ever hit this town occurred. It was caused by an all fault which dates back to the Mesozoic era and is said to be a remnant from Pangea. The magnitude of this earthquake was bigger than a group of high schoolers hearing Mo Bamba in 2018. The area covered by this earthquake was about 5 million square kilometers. Please stick around and I'll pass it over to our reporter, Sandy Beach.
Thank you for starting us off, Fernando. Hi, I'm Sandy Beach, and today I'm going to share some of the tragedies that this earthquake, which was indeed the largest recorded earthquake in the history of the southeastern United States, created for the citizens of Charleston, South Carolina, and many others around the country. For those of you watching, I would like to provide a trigger warning because I will be going over the tragic details of things such as loss of life, damages, and other heartbreaking topics from the aftermath of the 1886 Charleston earthquake. This tragedy took the lives of around 60 men, women, and children that day, while also damaging nearly 2,000 buildings. This led to the city of Charleston having to pay around $5 to $6 million to repair the damages that were caused. Due to the unfortunate racial discrimination that was going on around the time of this natural disaster, they did not originally account for the deaths of the people of color in this earthquake. After adding the deaths of these people of color, the final death toll came out to be around 500 deaths. At this point in time, Charleston was already struggling from economic decline and so-called urban blight from a Category 3 hurricane that caused damage to nearly 90% of homes within the city in the previous year. Wow, we really could not catch a break. I am now going to pass it off to Nicholas Johnson so he can tell you about the environmental impacts.
Thank you, Sandy Beach. I'm Nicholas Johnson, and I'm on a peaceful walk through Riverfront Park in Charleston. While we are here, I'm going to be talking about the impacts of the earthquake beyond the city of Charleston. Because the earthquake was mainly inside the city, wildlife was considerably safe from the main damaging center. However, several fissures were opened during the earthquake, one of which is shown right here beside me. The damage ended up spreading to all surrounding states, with structural damage found all the way up to Ohio, and the movement felt as far north as Boston and as far northwest as Chicago. Due to the wide range affected, it's hard to measure just how many animals and ecosystems were affected. What we do know is that around 300 aftershocks were reported over the next 35 years. So basically, the earthquake lasted 30 years. Thank goodness that's not continuing today. I'm now going to finish my walk in the park while passing the mic to Charlestown with some additional info.
Thanks, and good evening. My name is Charles Town, and I'll be reporting some additional information as we look back on this trying time. You may notice our great city of Charleston looks different today. You see bolts that were engineered to stabilize the leftover masonry to prevent damaged facades and balconies from falling. The bolts prove vital in the prevention of buildings from collapsing. But it's not all negatives here. As we say here in South Carolina, it takes a village. The people of Charleston were back to work repairing their city in a week's time and had almost completely repaired the city in only 14 months. Outpours of assistance and sympathy came from all over the country that was recently divided by the Civil War, despite the fact that South Carolina had great leadership in it. In addition to that, most general information that we have on earthquakes presently was found while researching the Charleston earthquake. The results of the hard work done by the Charlestonians were a large gain in respect and admiration, which returned the city to a place that should be visited. Should an earthquake of this magnitude occur again today, the damages from buildings, businesses, and transportation could exceed upwards of $20 billion. It is stated that 300,000 houses could lose power and fires would plague the city. That's all for now. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Join us next week when we remember the tragedy of 1783 for the 239th anniversary of the British taking over our great city in the Revolutionary War. Good night, Charlestonians.